Welcome to the vlog. I'm out and about again doing a spot of fishing. Again, nothing special, and this is what's going to be happening all this year. So I managed to get the rods out. Everything looks okay, spot on. I was in the shallows. It was like June the 16th with everybody being out on the bank. But I got a good peg. Now the wind was starting to become a real problem because with my bait selection, sweet corn doesn't travel that far from a catapult when there's a lot of wind, so I opted to go down in the margins. That's the only thing I could do for the time being. And the warmer water was being pushed away from the shallows further down the lake towards the tree line. All those pegs were taken, for good reason too, because all I could see throughout this session was fish moving off that wooded area. A decision had to be made. But for now, I'm going to spend the night and see if they move up into the shallows, just to see whether I can catch a fish from here or not. That's all I could do. Currently fishing about 40 yards out again, there, on a little hard spot, and I thought I'd show you something else. I bought a new waterproof jacket. The simple point being is, you won't believe how many times I've got soaking wet with traditional water resistant coats, and after about an hour they're drenched and I've got no way of drying them. And this one, I paid for this, is like a rubber feel, like a rubber. It's not cheap. It's not cheap. It's made by Vass. You can see that there, Vass. So there we go. I've opted for the unlined version, which is lightweight for summer, and it really does suit my needs. And about today's conditions, we've got a lot of low pressure in today. I'm at the bottom end of this lake where it's in the shallows, and it's absolutely blowing a hoolie. And I'm not too sure will you'll be able to hear me in this kind of wind, but hey ho, we're trying anyway. I have actually walked past a Pioneer bivvy as well. I really want one of them, but I just can't justify the cost. 700 quid for a bivvy is a lot of money, especially when you've got bills to pay. Right, never mind the waffle. Let's carry on with the rest of the vlog. See if we can catch a fish. Now, I wasn't quite happy the way things were going. The more and more I watched the water, the more and more I could see the fish weren't in the shallows. It was becoming increasingly obvious that just simply putting the baits out and lugging and preparing the hooks wasn't going to be enough. I mean, I was just sat there waiting, watching, repairing, changing the baits, the hooks all day long, lugging everything up. But to no avail. Every time I looked at the water, there was simply no fish there. Even the bailiff who was fishing opposite me had decided to move further down the lake when some people have left the wooded area. That was the place to be. It was very clearly obvious that's where it needed to be. But I couldn't get there. So I just opted just to sit it out, keep an eye out as the sun started to set on the water, and just on the off chance, just on the hope that the fish would move back up the lake into the shallows. But that wind had pushed all the warmer water down the lake towards that wooded area. Oh well, with the rod set, and the next day coming very quickly, I opted to travel back home, pick some few bits and pieces up, and get over onto that part of the lake and leave this part of the lake until later on. So we didn't catch anything yesterday. So I packed up, come home, done a bit of housework, and I made my way right the way down to this lake here. Same lake, the opposite side. A lot of the fish that were coming out on this bank right here. And I decided, well, do you know what? I've got plenty of times on my hand. Well, do you know, while I've got plenty of time on my hands, I'm going to come out and I'm going to fish on here. So what I've done is, underneath this bush here, I put some corn down, some crab bait, and just underneath there, around there, and the point there, I've done the same thing as well. Put some crab bait. I've left I've not put any corn in there. It's really lovely on this lake, this point there. Got the bivvy all set up, ready to go. And it's really peaceful and quiet. It's perfect setting up right at the side of the M6, the busiest motorway in England, and I'm sat at the side of it. So if you can hear the cars and everything going past, not a lot I can do about that. You kind of get used to the noise. Oh well, let's carry on with the vlog, see if we can catch a fish. Bit of a waiting game, this, isn't it? Sometimes when you're fishing, you're just really trapped and stuck in your thoughts. I mean, over the last 3 days, all I've done is hunt fishing tackle on eBay and on forums, just trying to look for decent deals and things that I need for the coming year. Then I've been thinking about going to France and the lake I'm going to be fishing, and what kind of boat I'm going to take, or whether I can hire a boat, or whether I'm going to do a kayak. I've even thought about getting a kayak. Why? I don't know. But I've even thought about getting a kayak. So when you go to France, regarding boats, do you like to use a kayak, a dinghy, or a professional boat that you can hire from the lake? Don't forget, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and comment below. What's your thoughts on it? What kind of stuff do you use? Because I haven't got a clue. I'm toying with the idea of buying one. I've seen one called Carp Zone on eBay, and that looks kind of look cool. No, it's not on eBay, it's a Decathlon in Stockport. It's about 350 quid. 350 quid's a lot of money, to be fair, isn't it? What's your thoughts? How much did you spend on a boat? That's a good question. That's a really good question. I'm also, believe it or not, after having that much time at home, I mean, don't get me wrong when I say this, because this lake here sometimes can be a bit of a waiting game. It really can be a waiting game. But I'm a little bit bored. When I've come on my own, I'm a little bit bored. Sometimes I come with Debs and the kids and there's somebody to talk to. Well, I've had an afternoon nap and I've seen fizzing in the swim and I've done some B-reel. I bought some bits and pieces off eBay, but the reality of it is I'm just, strangely enough, I'm a little bit bored now. I could do with the fish. I could do with a bit of excitement, because in the summer it's a really long time, isn't it? Waiting for a fish is a really long time. This will break the boredom. But I burnt it, look. Curry. I don't know how I managed to do it, but I've actually managed to burn it. Yep, tastes burnt. It'll do though. It'll do. Well, I've now just cast one on a single. Quite long. Because I've seen some fish moving about 90 yards out. Pretty much nearly the centre of the lake. You're not allowed to cast over halfway. Someone's on the other way, so I'm not halfway, I'm just before that. Well, there are fish moving out there. So just on a single, a little bit of corn on the top of it, tip it off. See if we pick a fish up on that. I hope I do. Ah, carry on with my tea. Still don't know what boat to get though. The things we're doing fishing, the things actually we decide that we're going to buy. I'll have a bit of a clear out of my kit as well. Try and make some more extra money to buy a few bits and pieces. So there's loads of stuff I've bought over the years that I bought on an impulse, but I don't actually use. Or I've been given stuff that I don't use, so I might actually sell the ProLogic Commander. That one there, Commander V3. Got on eBay, I think. Good kit, but I actually do want the Pioneer. Not even the big one, the small one, the standard one, but they're 600 quid. So I've made my mind up. I'm going to sell a few bits and pieces that I've got to justify the money to get the Pioneer. I'm going to get one of them. Which bivvy do you want? What's your favourite bivvy? If there's any money wasn't an object, which one would you get? That's the question really.